There were 5 quarterbacks selected in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft, and Bills fans everywhere knew that the Buffalo Bills needed to get one. Now we have to reevaluate 2 years later and ask ourselves, did the Bills get the right guy? Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome as we take a look back at the 2018 NFL Draft, more specifically, the first-round quarterbacks taken in the 2018 NFL Draft. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Billievers Talk. My name is Joe. If you are new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and after you hit that subscribe button, like this video, give it the thumbs up. It really helps out this channel a lot, and I really do appreciate it. After you hit that subscribe button, you want to make sure you hit the notification bell. YouTube will notify you when we put out new content. Also, after you hit that thumbs up button, make sure you leave a comment regarding this video. Tell me what you think about the 2018 quarterback draft class, and tell me if you think that my rankings, because I'm going to rank them at the end of this video, is how you would rank them, or how you would rank the quarterbacks taken in the 2018 NFL Draft. So first, I want to remind everyone that the 2018 NFL Draft was historic for the quarterback position. You're talking about 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10, and then we get that 5th one there at the end with the last pick of the the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft. Let's go through those names and the teams that they ended up going to. We start with the number 1 overall pick. The Cleveland Browns had the number 1 overall pick, and they selected Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, it was a little bit of a surprise. Leading up to the draft, you heard a lot about possibly Sam Darnold or even maybe Josh Rosen going with that number 1 overall pick. You didn't hear much about Baker Mayfield being the number 1 overall pick until draft day itself. The morning of draft day, there was this buzz going around about Baker Mayfield, and that's what happened. The Cleveland Browns throw a little bit of a curveball with that first overall pick and select Baker Mayfield, and the Jets sitting there at 3 are excited about it. Remember, the Jets traded with the Colts in March to get that number 3 overall pick, really handcuffing our Buffalo Bills a little bit. We did a video right after the trade and talked about the impact it has on the Buffalo Bills, but it worked out all right as the New York, New Jersey Jets picked up Sam Darnold with the 3rd overall pick. Again, Sam Darnold was a guy who many thought could be the number 1 overall pick. Sam Darnold out of USC. So then we go down to the 7th overall pick. The Buffalo Bills trade up to 7 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get Josh Allen with that 7th overall pick. So Josh Allen goes to the Buffalo Bills. And then at 10, the last pick in the top 10, obviously Josh Rosen goes to the Arizona Cardinals, QB out of UCLA. The only other quarterback taken in the first round, maybe some would argue the best quarterback of this first round, the 32nd overall pick, Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. The Baltimore Ravens trade up with the Philadelphia Eagles and get Lamar Jackson, so that way they have that 5th-year option. It's very important if you want a starting quarterback, possibly to try to give him in the first round, so that way you have that 5th-year option when it comes around. So those were the 5 quarterbacks taken. Again, out of the 5, 3 of them involved trades, right? You talk about Sam Darnold with the Jets trading up in March with the Colts to get up to that number 3 spot. You talk about Josh Allen with the Bills moving up with Tampa Bay. And if you remember, if you've been following this channel or others, the Bills moved up a little bit before that as well. But the final trade on draft day was the Bills moving up to 7, trading with Tampa Bay to get up there and get Josh Allen. And then, like I said, Lamar Jackson moving, the Baltimore Ravens moving back into the first round with the Philadelphia Eagles moving back, and then the Baltimore Ravens selecting Lamar Jackson with the 32nd overall pick. So I want to go over some of the statistics of these 5 quarterbacks over the past 2 seasons, and I did use 10 categories to judge how I rank these guys, so I'm going to go ahead and give you those categories as well. But first, let's start with just the flat-out statistics from these guys. First, we're going to start with Baker Mayfield. Again, number 1 overall pick, was signed by the Cleveland Browns. In 2 years with Cleveland, he has 29 starts. Remember, week 3 in 2018, 2018, he takes over for Tyrod Taylor, who gets concussed on a Thursday night football game after the Browns start 0-2, and then they end up beating the New York, New Jersey Jets in that game, and that starts the Baker Mayfield era for the Cleveland Browns. So in 29 starts, he's 12-17 as a starter. A lot of hype surrounding the 2019 Cleveland Browns. The Browns did not live up to that hype. In his 29 starts, he's completed 61.5% of his passes for 7,552 yards, 49 touchdowns, and 35 interceptions. 49 touchdowns is a lot. Of course, that 35 interceptions number is a lot as well. But a good touchdown markup for Baker Mayfield. Looking at running the ball, obviously when we talk about this draft class, we're going to get to two quarterbacks who run the ball fairly well. And I think you know who I'm talking about with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. The other three guys, not so much. When you talk about running the ball, Baker Mayfield, 67 rushes, 272 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So over the past 2 seasons, Baker Mayfield, again, a lot of touchdowns. He has thrown quite a few interceptions. That's something that the Browns want to work on. Obviously, his accuracy a little better, 61.5, better than some here in the NFL, or in the 2018 draft class. Actually, the best out of the first rounders taken in the 2018 NFL draft. You go to Sam Darnold, again taken 3rd overall by the New York, New Jersey Jets. In 2 seasons with the Jets, he started in 26 games. Now you do have to know about Sam Darnold is he's missed time in both seasons due to injury, right? This past season, the mono thing, kind of a freak incident as well. So you do have to take that into account. Sometimes the best ability is availability when you're talking about these quarterbacks. But in 26 starts with the New York, New Jersey Jets, he's 11-15. Just a hair under 60% completion percentage, sitting at 59.9, 5,889 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Again, 20 interceptions is a lot in 2 seasons, averaging 14 a year. You want to see that number go down a little bit if you're a Jets fan. But again, if you're a Jets fan, you know that you haven't had the best targets to throw the ball to. Sometimes your offensive line has let you down as well. Rushing the ball, again, not so big on rushing. 77 rushes, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 7th overall, taken by our Buffalo Bills out of Wyoming again. In his 2 seasons with Buffalo Bills, remember, he came in for Nathan Peterman after, I think, 2 games that Nathan Peterman started for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's another one of those guys who has missed time due to injury. He missed 1 game this past season due to the concussion he suffered against the Patriots. And then prior to that, in the 2018 season, remember, Derek Anderson had to come in after he hurt his hand against the Houston Texans. Nathan Peterman came back in. He still failed miserably. They brought in Derek Anderson, and he did a serviceable job. And if you remember, that's how we got Matt Barkley, because then Anderson got hurt. Allen still wasn't able to come back. We get Matt Barkley in for that 1 game against the Jets. So Josh Allen did miss time week 2018 season. Missed only 1 game this past season with that concussion suffered against the New England Patriots. So in his 2 seasons with the Buffalo Bills, he has started in 27 games. In those 27 game starts, he is 15-12. 56.3% completion percentage. We know the difference between 2018 and 2019 with Josh Allen's completion percentage went up significantly. We're hoping to continue to see that. 5,163 yards, 30 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. But here's the X factor when it comes to Josh Allen. That's, of course, his ability to run the ball. When he runs the ball, he's run the ball 198 times in 2 seasons. Pretty remarkable for a quarterback. 1,141 yards and 17 touchdowns. Remember, in 2019, he actually had the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback last season, and that includes Lamar Jackson, who we will get to in a second. With the 4th quarterback taken in the 2018 NFL draft was Josh Rosen out of UCLA. And for Josh Rosen, it's been a downhill ride so far. His 2 years in the NFL. Everyone remembers he was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona then trades him draft day 2019 to the Miami Dolphins. So in 2 seasons, he spent 1 with Arizona, 1 with Miami. Has only started 16 games. You can see these other guys started about 10 plus more games than Josh Rosen has in his career. But in those 16 starts, he's 3-13 with a 54.8% completion percentage, 2,845 yards, 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Again, another quarterback that's not going to run the ball too much. 26 rushes for 151 yards in his short 2-year NFL career so far. Then you get to the 5th quarterback taken in the NFL draft by the Baltimore Ravens, the 32nd overall pick, the 2019 NFL MVP. That's Lamar Jackson, quarterback out of Louisville. Again, the Baltimore Ravens move up to get him with the 32nd overall pick. And then in the 2018 season, around week 8, week 9, he comes in for Joe Flacco, and he leads the Baltimore Ravens to a playoff appearance. In fact, him and Josh Allen are the only 2 quarterbacks out of these 5 who have playoff experience. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you look at Lamar Jackson's stats, Lamar Jackson 22 starts with the Baltimore Ravens. In those 22 starts, 19 wins. He's 19-3, a pretty good record overall. 63.7% completion percentage, 4,328 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. But when you want to talk about why he's a difference maker, the X factor, if you will, again, look at his rushing stats. This past season, 2019, he broke Michael Vick's single season rushing record for a quarterback. In his two-year career, he's ran the ball 323 times. You're talking about quarterbacks possibly not being able to last if they run the ball that often. He might run that problem later in his career, but for right now, it's fun to watch. 323 rush attempts, 1,901 yards, and 12 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson running the ball. So as you look at Lamar Jackson's stats, you're kind of astounded that he was the 32nd overall pick. So we're going to go through some categories. I've selected 10 categories to grade these 5 quarterbacks. I'm going to tell you what those categories are to determine who's the best quarterback, and I'm going to rank them 1 through 5, and who the Buffalo Bills maybe should have drafted. Did they draft the right guy, or should they have drafted someone else? Again, let me know in the comment section, do you think that the Buffalo Bills drafted the right guy? I love Josh Allen. I think he's a great player, but was he the best quarterback available at number 7? That's what we're asking right now. And so right now I'm grading these guys on 10 categories. I'll tell you the categories, and let me know if there's a category that you would have rather me use other than the 10 I am using. Starts, wins, playoff games, passing yards per game, rushing yards, total yards per game, total TDs, and total turnovers. Those are the 10 categories that I use to grade these players and these 5 quarterbacks, and to see where they would rank right now if we were to redraft today, knowing what we know now. So I looked at starts. Mayfield has 29, Allen 27, Darnold 26, Jackson 22, Rosen 16. Wins, guys. To me, everyone talks about QBR, everyone talks about passing yards, everyone talks about rushing yards, everyone talks about all these stats. All I want to do is win. I don't care about anything else. So I am going to load that wins category. When I grade these quarterbacks, I'm going to put a lot of weight on wins. I'm going to put a lot of weight on playoff appearances. Now, unfortunately, for these 5 quarterbacks, not a single one of them has a playoff win to their name right now. So Josh Allen still could be the first quarterback in this draft class to get a playoff win. That's still very possible. Again, the Bills went to the playoffs last season, and everyone thinks that they're going to improve this season, have a good shot to win that AFC East title in 2020. So when I take a look at these 10 categories, obviously when it comes to passing yards, you look at Baker Mayfield, over 7,500 passing yards. He clearly leads the way. But when you look at rushing yards, you have Lamar Jackson with almost 2,000 rushing yards, clearly leading the way. Total touchdowns, Jackson has 54 total touchdowns in 2 seasons. Baker Mayfield 52, Allen 47, Darnold 39, Rosen 11. So those are the numbers there. I didn't get into the turnovers too much when talking about their stats. Here are the turnovers by quarterbacks so far in their NFL career. The most turnovers by a quarterback so far out of these 5 is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has, between interceptions thrown and fumbles lost, 42 turnovers. Sam Darnold 39, Josh Allen 37, Lamar Jackson 21, and Josh Rosen 18. Now, of course, Rosen, you can contribute that to the fact that he's played in at least 6 less games or starts than any of these other quarterbacks. So that obviously has to factor into that. But those are the numbers as they stand. So when I took these 10 categories and ranked them by these 10 categories, again, starts, wins, playoff games, passing yards per game, rushing yards, total yards per game, total TDs, and turnovers, I averaged it out. I averaged it out and I said, here are your top 5 quarterbacks that in order of how they should have been taken as of right now in the 2018 NFL draft. Now, let me know if you agree with this or not. I think it's pretty substantial. I like it a little bit here as it works out. So I have Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield both tied. So I would obviously heavy load the wins, which would be in Jackson's favor, and I would have Jackson as the first quarterback taken off the board in the 2018 NFL draft. Mayfield second. Again, you can't look past 7,500 passing yards in 2 seasons. Allen comes in third, which he was the third quarterback taken in the NFL draft. Darnold in fourth, and then Rosen comes in fifth. So how did it work out? It was obviously Jackson was last. I think Jackson should, with the stats that he's putting up, Jackson should have been the first quarterback taken off the board. Mayfield second. Mayfield, the winning percentage isn't where you want it to be. You want to get more wins. You want to throw less interceptions. But again, you can't look past the 7,500 passing yards so far in 2 seasons and just think that's nothing. Obviously, he's doing pretty well. Now, you can argue that he has the best weapons out of these 5 quarterbacks. You're talking about having Odell Beckham. You're talking about having Jarvis Landry. You're talking about having some pretty good weapons over there in Cleveland. So you would hope that at some point he would be able to turn this around and get wins for that team. But still, 7,500 yards, I'm not going to knock it. I think he was the second best. He's currently the second best quarterback from that 2018 NFL draft. Josh Allen's not that far behind. Again, Josh Allen's a wild card when it comes to the running attack. Josh Allen's now getting another weapon when you add Stephon Diggs to the mix. I think he has all the weapons he needs now to be a successful quarterback. Finally saw some playoff experience last year. So that's one thing that him and Lamar Jackson have on the other 3 quarterbacks. When these other 3 quarterbacks, if these other 3 quarterbacks see the playoffs, it's going to be the first time. They're not going to have that experience. Well, both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen now have that experience. So I have that little bit of an edge. And like I said, I load winning when I love winning. When I look at wins, that's what I want out of a quarterback. I want a guy who's going to lead the team in victories. And again, you look at wins, Lamar Jackson in 7 less starts than Baker Mayfield has 7 more wins. I mean, there's something to be said about that. In five less starts than Josh Allen, 4 more wins. So there's something to be said about that. Only Jackson and Allen have a winning percentage as a quarterback right now, and I think that that's very important when it comes to selecting quarterbacks. And that might edge Allen over Mayfield in some opinions, and I completely understand that. But for me, it goes Jackson, Mayfield, Allen, Darnold, then Rosen. And you kind of feel bad for Rosen, has not gotten a fair shake yet. Hopefully he sees one before he just turns out to be a career backup in the NFL. But we will see what happens. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Let me know what you think about the 2018 quarterback class, at least the quarterback selected in the first round. Like I said, if I were to redraft him, I would have had Jackson as the number 1 quarterback taken, Baker Mayfield as the number 2, Josh Allen is the number 3, and that's where the Bills got him. Bills got him as the 3rd quarterback available, and they stuck there. And so I don't think it's that bad of a pick there with the 3rd quarterback. Darnold, who was the 3rd quarterback or the 3rd pick overall, I have him dropping to the 4th best quarterback in this draft. And then Rosen, unfortunately, due to circumstances, the system he went into might not have worked out the best for him. He might have fallen back to a career backup quarterback. We'll see what happens. Obviously, there's plenty of time left in all of these guys' career to make a difference. But let me know what you think about the 2018 quarterback draft class. Again, a pretty historic quarterback draft class. You had 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10. Do you think Allen was still the right pick for Buffalo? Because you do have to talk about scheme, right? I don't know if Baker Mayfield was fit this scheme, the locker room in Buffalo. I personally think the Buffalo Bills still made the right pick. Obviously, with Lamar Jackson going on fire, if you knew then what you knew now, Lamar Jackson might be your pick at 7, but no one knew that. He was in the discussion with those other 4 guys for a little bit, but obviously he fell back. And you can make plenty of arguments to why that was. I think the Bills made the best decision they could with the information available at the time. Darnold off the board. I think getting Allen was the best pick there, and I'm still really happy about it. Obviously, this season, the 2020 NFL season, is going to determine a lot as if Josh Allen's going through the future of the Buffalo Bills. I think he's going to be, and I hope you do too. Again, let me know in the comment section what you think. Thank you all for joining me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and let me know what you think about this video. I look forward to talking to you all soon as we get closer and closer to the 2020 NFL Draft. I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.